Forgotten Carol, Creepy Christmas Chronicles. It began with a whisper in the snow. Every December, the small town of Eldamire prepared for their traditional Christmas Eve sing-along at St. Winifred's Chapel. But this year, something was different. The choir director, Miss Eleanor Gray, uncovered an ancient sheet of music tucked inside an old hymn book. The faded parchment was titled The Forgotten Carol. The melody, eerie yet enchanting, bewitched her. Its lyrics spoke of a song that lingers in the dark and a voice that awakens the silence. She decided to include it in the sing-along, ignoring the warning scrawled in red ink at the bottom. Only the worthy may sing. All others beware. The night of the event, the snow fell heavier than ever. Families packed the chapel, eager for the warmth of music and light. Eleanor, eyes gleaming with excitement, handed the carol sheets to the choir and nodded for them to begin. As the first notes echoed, something stirred. The shadows seemed to grow thicker, the candlelight dimmer. The congregation swayed, entranced, until the final haunting note faded. Then came the knock. It was a single deliberate knock, so loud it silenced the murmurs of the crowd. Father Brennan hesitated before unlatching the heavy oak door. A figure stood in the storm, cloaked in crimson and black. Their face was hidden, but their voice, smooth as melting ice, carried through the chapel. "Who sang the carol?" the stranger asked. Eleanor stepped forward. "It was I who chose it." "Why do you ask?" The stranger chuckled, a sound that sent chills through the room. "You have summoned me, and now the price must be paid." Before Eleanor could respond, the figure stepped inside, and the door slammed shut. The candles flickered violently, casting strange, twisting shadows. "The Forgotten Carol is not merely a song," the stranger hissed. "It is an invitation, one that cannot be revoked." Suddenly, Eleanor's breath hitched. Her skin turned ashen, her eyes wide with terror as her feet lifted off the ground. The congregation screamed, but no one dared to move. "You've broken the pact," the stranger said. "And now the unworthy shall feed the silence." Eleanor's scream echoed through the chapel as she dissolved into a cloud of ash, her voice trapped in a mournful wail. The stranger raised a hand, and the choir members began to float, one by one. Their voices, once harmonious, turned to desperate cries, blending into a discordant symphony of terror. The congregation ran for the doors, but they wouldn't budge. Windows froze solid, encasing the room in ice. "The song must be completed," the stranger said, pulling down their hood to reveal hollow, glowing eyes and a skeletal grin. "Sing or share her fate." Terrified, Father Brennan led the trembling crowd in a shaky rendition of the Forgotten Carol. The melody filled the chapel, but with each note more voices disappeared, their owners swallowed by the shadows. As the last verse approached, only Father Brennan remained, his voice a whisper. "Why are you doing this?" he begged. The stranger grinned. "Because silence is the only gift worth giving." By dawn, the chapel stood empty. Eldamire awoke to find it cloaked in an unearthly quiet. No footsteps, no rustling trees, no birdsong, just silence. Inside, only the hymn book remained, open to the Forgotten Carol. Its red warning. Now read, "The silence has been fed. To this day, the people of Eldamire avoid the chapel. On Christmas Eve, some claim to hear faint singing carried by the wind, a ghostly choir trapped in endless repetition. And if you're brave enough to listen closely, you might hear Eleanor's voice whispering, 'Sing with us.' But heed this warning. Never join the song."
I'ma do what I want when I want.